Bismillah. In chapter 3, we are going to have the simple present, the tenses, that is. And in the first topic, we are going to discuss about the form and basic meaning of the simple present tense. The form and basic meaning of the simple present tense. Then we will have the next subtopic as using frequency adverb. We talked about adverbs, then we are going to have the frequency adverbs, always, usually, often, and so forth and so on. So let us start with the form and basic meaning of the simple present tense. She walks. She walks. The first person, so we are going to categorize it into the first person, second person, and third person pronouns. In the first person, I say I in the singular form, and in the plural form, I say we. Now, if I construct a sentence, I say I walk. I being now the first person pronoun, and we now being the second person, the first person pronoun plural, and I being the first person pronoun singular. Walk is a verb. So, what changes in the first, second, and third person pronoun when it comes to the simple present tense? The second person pronoun is, as we know, the second person pronoun is you, while the plural is still you. So we say you walk, you walk. In the third person pronoun, she, he, it. If we add walk, she walks, he walks, it walks. But here now there are some small things that you need to know. In the singular form and in the plural form of the first and second person pronoun, the verb doesn't change or doesn't add s. The verb doesn't add s. You see, it is walk, 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 walk. But in the singular form of the third person pronoun, the third person pronoun takes s in the place of the adverb, the adjective. So they walk. They walk. So when we pluralize the third person pronoun, he, she, it becomes they, but they now takes the place of no s. So you say they walk. Okay. Now let us see the main meaning of the simple present tense. I eat lunch every afternoon. I eat lunch every afternoon. So every afternoon means it is frequent. For example, the week comprises of 7 days. So if I eat lunch every day means I eat lunch from Monday to Sunday. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For the 7 days. It means it is frequent. It comes every day. So, or I eat lunch every day. Max drives to work every day. So, here you are going to wonder, or you are wondering as to why I didn't add s in the place of it, but I added drive with s. Simply because I is first person pronoun and it doesn't take the verb doesn't take any s. But when I say Max now, if I change it to past pronoun, I say, sorry, it's not she, but it is he or she. It can be, Max can be a man or it can be a lady. So I say, he drives. He drives to work every day. Drives. That's why now the verb takes S. Max drives to work every day. We get up every morning. We. I, it, we get up. So I being now the first person pronoun singular and we being the first person pronoun plural, it doesn't change or it doesn't add the verb NS. Kyle calls Mimi every day. Kyle calls Mimi every weekend. Kyle calls Mimi every weekend. So weekends are Saturday and Sunday. And in some countries like Somalia, the weekends are Thursday and Friday. So Kyle is he or she. It can be any. Whether you take she or whether you take he. The word call now, the verb call is now where we add s. Okay. Here now we have what you call habits. Habits are what we call usual activities. What a person does every day or does frequently. Whether every weekend, whether every morning, whether every day, whether every afternoon. It is a habit. Okay, Islamically, we pray 5 times a day. It is a habit. It's a usual activity. Okay, let's practice. We watch television every day. We is the first person pronoun plural. So we watch television every day. We cannot say we watch, but we say watch. We watch television every day. He watches television every day. He watches. He watches television every day. We dash lunch at 12. We eat. There's no S. We eat lunch at 12. Jara dash a walk in the morning. Jara is she. Is the third person pronoun singular. Jara takes a walk in the morning. Jara takes a walk in the morning. My friend dash her horse every day. My friend is she. My friend dash her horse every day. My friend. Here we have her as a personification or as a personification because the horse belongs to her. So she rides with us. She rides her horse every day. Now using the frequency or the frequency adverb, like, for example, we are going to tackle specific frequency adverbs. For example, always, usually, often, sometimes, seldom, rarely, never. Those are the 3 adverbs that you are going to use as a frequency adverb. Frequency adverbs are those adverbs that usually talks about how often things are done. Okay, we start with the first example. They always drink tea with lunch. They always drink tea with lunch. So if I tell you to identify the frequency adverb here is always. If I remove, it means if I remove the frequency adverb, the sentence can still be correct with its full meaning. But a question is going to rise, and the person, if, for example, if I say they drink tea with lunch, the person may say, how often? Is it daily or sometimes? So here I say they always drink tea with lunch. Okay. Always means the thing is done 100%. When you see this percentage, it means this thing is done 100%. So if I say always means this person or this thing is done 100%. Mary always eats lunch. It's 100%. She eats lunch always, day in, day out. But when I say usually, it means 90 to 99%. Mary usually eats lunch at school. Mary always eats lunch at school. Mary usually eats lunch at school. When I say always, it means 100%. It is daily, from Monday to Sunday. But if I say she usually eats lunch, it means that she eats lunch 90 to 99% at school. And when I say Josh often eats hamburgers, it means often. Often means sometimes. Maybe 3 days a week or 4 days a week. So it is 75 to 90%. Tia sometimes eats lunch at school. Tia sometimes eats lunch at school. Tia sometimes eats lunch at school. Sometimes means 2 or 3 days, which is 25 to 75%. But when I say seldom means it is very rare, maybe once a while. Tia seldom eats lunch at school. Rarely. Rarely means 1 to 10%. It is very rare for you to see. Maybe a whole month you will find Eva having Rhea washes her car. It's very rare to see Eva washing her car. Maybe a whole month you will find it one day that she washes her car. Jay never goes to the zoo. The zoo is now where we keep the wild animals. So Jay is a man. He never goes to the zoo. He never means he has never visited the zoo. So you don't know what a zoo means or how a zoo looks like. So these are now the frequency adverbs. Always, usually, often, seldom, rarely, never. Okay, let's have a practice. Here we have a timetable in the red box. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These are 7 days. If now Tia dash feeds her dog. If from Sunday to Saturday, Tia is feeding her dog, it means she feeds what? Always. Talia always feeds her dog. Talia always feeds her dog. Jara dash watches TV. So which means Jara watches only Saturday. She watches TV on Saturday. So what will you say? Jara seldom watches TV, but not rarely. Yeah? Rarely means maybe more than a month. Luke dash cooks dinner. So he usually cooks dinner, which means usually. Just maybe on Friday is where he goes maybe to the hotel or even to the restaurant to have lunch. I mean to have dinner. But the rest of the days, the 6 days of the week, the remaining 6 days of the week, he usually cooks dinner. Mausad dash cooks dinner. So he cooks dinner 4 out of 3, 4 days out of 3, 4 days out of 7 days. Then 3 days he doesn't cook. So will you say he sometimes? Yes, Mausad sometimes cooks dinner. Okay, other frequency expressions that we normally use, but we have not mentioned it here is, for example, she goes to the library once a week. She goes to the library once a week. So, she goes to the library once a week. Once a week. The whole week, once. She goes to the library twice a week. Once, twice. She goes to the library 5 times a week. So it is once, twice, 2 times, 5 times a week. I go to school 5 times a week. I go to school 5 times a week. So I usually go to school. I go to the movie twice a month. So I rarely go to the movies. I go to the beach once a year. I rarely also go to the beach once a year. So how many times? So frequency, other frequency expression that we're talking about is how many times a day, or how many times a day, how many times a week, how many times a month, how many times a year, how many times a day, how many times a week, how many times a month, how many times a year, 5 times a week, 3 times a week, 2 times a day, 1 time or 2 times a month, once a year, twice a year, 5 times a year, like that. I feed my dog every morning. I feed my dog every morning. This is 7 times a day. Every morning, 7 times a day. I ride my horse every day, 7 times a week. I wash my car every year, once a year. So, which is the correct one? So, every is always used in the singular terms. So I feed my dog every morning. Every mostly waxaa loo isticmaalaa in singular sentences. I ride my horse every week. I wash my car every year. So, but here we are going to omit the word s. So we say every morning, every week, every year. So in the week, we are not going to say weeks. I ride my horse every week. I, because we didn't add s, because it is I, which is first person pronoun in singular term. So the whole sentence is singular. So that's why we didn't add weeks s. So let's practice. How often do you drink coffee? Now, one of the ladies asked, how often do you drink coffee? So the other lady answered and said, every morning. So you dash drink coffee? So if she drinks coffee every morning, which means she always drinks coffee. She said yes. May doesn't drink coffee. I know she drinks coffee. She doesn't. So it is she never drinks coffee. If somebody doesn't drink coffee, it means that person, he or she, never drinks coffee. Does Dr. Abu take a walk every day? Does Dr. Abu takes a walk every day? No, he walks 5 or 6 days a week. 5 or 6 times a week? Yes, he takes a walk. He often takes a walk. He often takes a walk. Now let us have using frequency adverb with the verb be. Jeff is always dirty. Jeff is always dirty. So we will have Jeff as the subject, is as the verb be, always as the frequency adverb, usually as a frequency adverb, often as a frequency adverb, sometimes as a frequency adverb, seldom as a frequency adverb, rarely as a frequency adverb, never as a frequency adverb. So we say Jeff is always dirty. Jeff is usually dirty. Jeff is often dirty. Jeff is sometimes dirty. Jeff is seldom dirty. Jeff is rarely dirty. Jeff is never dirty. So here are the rules of now using a frequency adverb with the verb be. I, am, is. Am, is, are, plus the frequency adverb. So always the frequency adverb, the verb comes before the frequency adverb. The verb comes before the frequency adverb. Okay, Sergio always rides a bike. Here now we will have the subject plus frequency adverb plus other simple present verbs. Other simple present verbs. So Sergio, he always rides a bike. He always rides a bike. He usually rides a bike. He often rides a bike. He sometimes rides a bike. He seldom rides a bike. He rarely rides a bike. He never rides a bike. So the frequency adverb is always added to all simple present verbs except be. Okay? So when it comes to simple present tense, the frequency adverb comes before the verb. But all simple present verbs be taankeehen waa lagu darayaa. Okay. He is tired. Aad buu u daalan yahay. He is tired. Usually. He is usually tired. So here we have he, verb comes before now. What? So we are going to put verb here. He is usually tired. He is usually tired. He is usually tired. Jeff is sad. Jeff is never sad. Jeff ma xanaaqsan. He is never sad. Jeff is never sad. Lucy reads at the library. Lucy waxay ku soo akhristaa library-ga. Lucy often reads at the library. So Lucy, she reads at the library. So we have the verb, the frequency adverb comes before reads. It rains in the desert. It rains in the desert. It rarely rains in the desert. It rarely rains in the desert. Now let us see the spelling and the pronunciation of final ES. When do we add ES to Gerardo teaches maths? The spelling and the pronunciation. Sometimes waxaad arkaysaa the way we spell qaabka aan u spell garanayno inaan ugu dhawaaqayno. We spell a certain way. qaab aan u qoraynaa ereygan. Laakiin pronunciation ama qaabka loogu dhawaaqayo waa ka duwanaanaya si kale qaabka loo aqrinayo. For example, when it comes to the words with the end sh. For example, push. Okay? Push. Plural ka dhig markaasi es aan ku darayna moogtahay. So pushes madayno. We say the pronunciation. We write pushes with es but we pronounce it as ez. You say pushes. Push, pushes. Push, pushes. Kuwa ku dhamaanaya ch or those that ends with ch like teach. When we add es to the plural term, we add es, isn't it? But the pronunciation comes as ez. We say teaches. Teach, teaches. Push, pushes. And there are those words that ends with double s. For example, we have keys. We add es. We say kisses, not kisses. Those words that end with x but have the suffix x. Fixes. So always the words with the endings sh, ch, ss, x will add es at the end in their plural terms, but they say ez when you want to read. Teach, teaches. Push, pushes. Kiss, kisses. Fix, fixes. So rule number 1 ama waxyaabaha loo baahan yahay waxay tahay ereyga hadduu ku dhamaanayo ereyga English hadduu ku dhamaanayo sh, ch, ss, x pluralkiisa es uu qaadanayaa waa automatic. laakiin qaabka aad u aqrinayso es taayada waxay noqonaysaa ez. Okay, let's have a practice. Here we have the word miss. If you have the word Miss ends with the double S. So what we expect is we add ES. But we read it as what? EZ. Okay? Seung never misses his TV program. Seung never misses his TV program. Gerardo teaches math. So we add ES. But we pronounce it as what? And we pronounce it as EZ. Teaches. Gerardo teaches math. Victor always washes his car. So we add ES, but we pronounce it as EZ. Washes. Mix. This word ends with X. Ade usually dash sugar in his coffee. He mix. We add ES, but we pronounce it as EZ. Mixes. Now, adding final S or ES to a word that ends in Y. There are those words that will end in Y. There are some rules to follow ama waxaa jiro qaacidooyin la raacayo for you to change the words with the final ES and S, or with the final Y and you add S or ES. The baby cries a lot. So if the word ends in Y, you add IES. Cry, cries. Fly, flies. But here are the rules. If cry is a consonant plus Y, R is a consonant. Y is also a consonant. If you want to add IES or ES or S to a word ending in Y, rule number 1 you're going to check is if that word Y inay ka hormarayso a consonant. If a consonant comes before Y, that word change Y to I and add ES. If a consonant comes before the Y, haddii consonant uu kasoo hormaro Y-da, consonants waxaan rabnay 26 alphabet markii 5 vowel laga reebo A, E, I, O, U wixii soo hara ayaa la yidhahaa consonants. So 21 soo haray haddii ay mid ka mid ah Y-da ka soo horeeyaan, automatically Y-da ayada waxaa lagu bedelayaa I, waxaan lagu darayaa ES. Tusaale kale, we have the word pay here. Pay here, a vowel comes before the Y. So haddii mar noqoto marka inuu vowelka ka hor imaanayo Y-da, ereyga toos wuxuu qaadanayaa S. You say pays. Enjoy, O comes before the Y. That's a vowel comes before the Y. So you add enjoys. So vowels plus Y adds S. Consonant plus Y adds I. It changes Y to I and adds ES. So waxaan dhahnay marka haddii ereyga uu la bedelayo Y uu ku dhamaanayo, waa ereyda ku dhamaado Y, inta waxaan ka hadlayn ciwaanka dhan ama ya-da ku dhamaado. Haddii ereyga Y uu ku dhamaanayo, ereyga ka horeeya uu yahay consonant, 21 vowelka ka soo haro, Y-daas ayaad ku bedelaysaa, ES ku diraysaa automatically any word oo soo baxo. Laakiin haddii Y-da erey ka horeeya uu noqdo vowel A, E, I, O, U 5 mid ka mid ah, S basaad ku diraysaa, way sahlan tahay. Okay, Ghazi dash too many things. Buy. We have often. Often was hormarisa, no problem. Buy adds, here we have a consonant. So you add, we have a vowel, sorry. So if you have a vowel here, you are going to add S straight. She dash nice things. Say, here we have a consonant, a vowel before the Y. So Y is going to take S. So we say always says nice things. Her father dash about her. Her father dash about her. So here we have a a consonant before the y. So this word waxaa ku daraysaa you omit y, you change it to I, you add es. So this becomes often worries about her. You stop there, and then next time we're going to start what we call the irregular singular verbs: has, does, and goes. I'm going to start with the irregular verbs: has, does, and goes. So I'm not going to explain anything about what we call irregular, but next time is when you are going to know what irregular means. For that few remarks, kindly subscribe to the channel. If you have any comment, haddii wax su'aal ama wax comment aa qabto waa ila wadaagi kartaa emailka waan kula soo wadaagay already. About haddaa ka fiiriso emailka, you just click, then you write any comment you want. haddii cashirka aad u baahan tahay lagu siiyana still ila soo xiriir waa ku siinaya. Asalaamu calaykum waraxmatullahi wabarakatu.